At approximately 4:30 a.m. this morning, Galveston police officers responded to a 911 call of possible shots fired on the 8th floor of the San Luis Hotel. On arrival, they could hear faint moaning coming from inside the suspected hotel room, at which point they tried to facilitate entry, only to find that the hotel room door was actually still locked from the inside. After forcing entry into the room, officers found a 39-year-old male, a 10-year-old boy, and a 5-year-old boy, all lying in bed with apparent gunshot wounds. They also found a 37-year-old female lying on the floor with an apparent gunshot wound as well. The female and one of the children were unresponsive, but still appeared to be alive, and were subsequently transported to UTMB, where they were both later pronounced dead. Detectives with the Major Crimes Division have been able to confirm that this Baytown family arrived at the San Luis Resort and checked in at some point around 7 o'clock last night. The motive is unknown at this time, but forensic data collected at the scene indicates that the female is believed to be the shooter at this time, before apparently taking her own life with a 9mm handgun found adjacent to her body. The Galveston Police Department is treating this as a possible murder-suicide, and there's no indication or evidence that there are any other persons involved or that any other suspects are still at large. Questions?
Captain, did anyone at the hotel point out that when they checked in last night, that there's any indication of problems with the family or some type of stress going on with the family when they checked in last night?
At this point in the investigation, we have no information to believe that there were any issues prior to the shooting at 4 o'clock.
Were either the female or the young boy taken to the hospital conscious at the time that they were transported?
Neither one were responsive or lucid. They showed vital signs, but neither one of them were very lucid.
So you didn't get a statement from either?
No, absolutely not.
Any indication, was she the mother of the children? And
Yes.
The other was that,
Yeah.
And the adult male was the father?
Yes.
So was the wife that killed her husband and her 2 children, just to be clear?
Correct.
How devastating is it? I know it's been hard on you guys to that scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's an unfortunate reality that first responders, police officers, EMS, and firefighters, you know, have to deal with this on occasion. But it's one of those things that we're trained to do. It's one of those things that we signed up and volunteered to do. You know, my heart goes out to the rest of their family, their extended family, their community, and our community, the ones that don't have the training to deal with this, and the ones that have to be exposed to an event like this. It's definitely not one of those things that we experience here in Galveston very often, and that this community has to experience very often. Neither is it one of those things that a family will ever want to have to experience. You know, while we will go in and do our jobs every day of the week and have to be exposed to this, it's definitely a lot more devastating on the community.
Captain, do y'all plan on releasing the names of those involved?
At this point, we do not. We really aren't going to release those if the medical examiner's office wants to do that. But we're not filing charges at this time, anything like that. So we don't see really any point in releasing those names.
Have you contacted family?
Absolutely. Next of kin has been notified. The medical examiner's office has been working with us to make sure that the family members that need to be notified have all been notified.
Have you been, I mean, obviously you said you've talked to your family, any indication of mental illness or anything that would suggest that?
Well, that's going to be one of those things that kind of comes up in the rest of the investigation. We're going to work with the medical examiner's office as well as you know, our investigators here to kind of look a little bit deeper into the events that may have transpired to come to this event and what those causes may have been to get there.
Speaking of Detective Elmore, we can ask you, well, even though this is considered a murder-suicide, how active does this investigation go on? You know, how deep do you delve into this, even though, you know, it doesn't look like there's any charges or anyone's on the loose or anything?
We still treat it as a full-fledged homicide investigation. We still have to talk to numerous people in the family, numerous people in the community, kind of figure out a pattern of what the family did prior to this incident last night, and we still got to put the puzzle pieces together.
Any indication, I know this is kind of out of bounds, but the weapon itself, is it registered CHL holder, or what the weapons policy is at the hotel?
We don't know right this time. We're still conducting that investigation.
Does the family have any other children?
I'm sorry?
Does the family have any other children?
Not that I'm aware of.
And they had just checked in for one night, planning to stay one night?
That's correct.
Detective, was there anyone else in the room or any of the witnesses that you're aware of, or was it just these 4?
Just the 4 people in the room. As far as witnesses, we don't know of any other. We do have a 911 caller, but
Was there anybody on either side of the room where the possibility, as horrible it is for this family, obviously they're dead, where a bullet had gone through a wall, the possibility of somebody else could have died?
no, that didn't happen.
Do you know how many shots were fired, children?
Minimum 4 that we know of.
I know you're early in your investigation, but talking to family, any signs, any history, anything going on there?
I'm sorry?
Anything, I know you're early in your investigation, but talking to any family members beyond these 4, any signs, anything, any pattern that you can see?
Not at this time. I mean, that's one of the things we do have to do. We have to sit down with any family member or friend that we possibly can to try to figure out what's going on.
Was there any sort of like struggle? Were they asleep?
That does not appear to be any signs of a struggle.
So maybe asleep?
Possibly.
Are Baytown police involved in any way?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Is the family Hispanic?
The family is Hispanic, yes, sir.
So they had, the kids had pajamas on, they were in their jammies or?
I would have to tell you that tomorrow officially. I'll let you know.
And just to confirm, the 4 people died, right?
That's correct.
4 people died, which is dad, mom, kids.
Correct.
Right. The male, how old is he?
I'm sorry?
The male, how old is he?
39.
39.
Did you guys say exactly why you believe the woman was the shooter?
Just right now, the evidence that's on the scene, it tends to lead that way. So officially, we will know tomorrow after an autopsy.
Was she holding the gun when you got in the room, or was the gun near her body?
We're not going to reveal that just yet.
And who again were taken to the hospital? Two victims you said were taken?
The oldest son was taken to the hospital, and the female.
What time were they declared dead?
I don't have that right in front of me, sorry.
The male was the last person to die, right? The male?
I don't have that information either.
No. He was the one that was was sent to the hospital, right?
Female.
The female?
Right.
Was she able to talk or say anything before?
We have no statements from
No,
them.
same, so.
So to be clear, the children are both sons, it was 5 and 10 over the
We
boys.
believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I know it's early on, but do you have reason to believe that this may have been planned out, going to this hotel, if not happening at home?
Yeah, I don't have any information to validate that at this time.
The weapon that was retrieved from the scene, was it just one weapon with rifle, handgun?
Just one handgun was recovered from the actual scene.
Can you describe in general just what type of handgun?
It's
Pistol?
semi-automatic.
Their other family live in Baytown.
I'm not sure at this time.
4 shots, right?
That we know of, yes. Anything else?
Is the crime scene still closed? Or are you guys still investigating at the hotel?
No, we have secured that location.
So the floor itself is open, yes, to go back to the room.
Correct.
They hadn't been cleared out.
No, yeah, the hotel is operational as well.
The caller that notified you of the popping, was that the only one report that you got, or one 911 call, or do you know, or?
I just know of one. I would have to go back and see if there's additional calls or not.
It just seems like, it's pretty, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's surprising that more people wouldn't have heard it.
Right, I'd have to go back and review if there's additional calls.
Okay.
And the shooter is the mom, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we believe so.
We believe so.
Guys, I'll be sending out the statement in a press release here in just a few minutes after I get down here, so you'll have something written on that. And if you have any other questions at that point, you can feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. I appreciate you guys coming. Thanks.
Thank you.